We need to be reinforcing the same stuff that teachers teach in class at home. I need y'all to get how serious the situation is. Today I have a test. I have students who don't want to show up for the test because they cannot read on grade level and they know the test is going to be hard. Because tests are hard and they can't read on grade level, they're going to engage in problem behaviors. Do you know there's a strong correlation between the level of literacy a person has and behavior problems that they have? Do you know that when I first got into my education class, the first thing they said that prisons will determine how many beds they need based on third grade reading scores? Because there's a strong correlation between reading scores, math scores, and behavior problems. I want you to imagine you're a kid and your teacher asks you to read and you're nervous because you know you can't read and people are gonna make fun of you. So you do one of two things. Either you make yourself a joke and you start disrupting the class in the hopes that you either get kicked out or you can avoid that situation altogether, or you do something aggressive and get kicked out of class, task avoidance, something like that. Your parents get called, you go home, you get scolded, you get your butt whooped, but you're still not learning, you're not growing, you're not doing anything. All because of something that can be easily avoided by working with your children at home to supplement what they're learning in school. Because 50 minutes is not enough time to teach your child a lot of stuff. It has to be reinforced. And this is not just...
Dude is not lying. 50 minutes is not enough to teach your kid anything, especially when they're switching from subject to subject. And I've ran across this before with quite a few people. I've heard people, family members, friends say, well, them teachers supposed to be teaching them chilling now. Of course they're supposed to teach them. But the problem is that a lot of us, we have jobs, we're busy as hell. We have to take these kids to after school programs to play football, basketball, volleyball, whatever the case may be, soccer. And they don't have that much time left after school programs, or just in general when you get off from work. Say for example, you get off at 5, 6 o'clock, the kid going to bed around 8 or 9, and they just simply don't have the time. You include brushing your teeth, eating dinner, taking a shower, coming together as a family, making sure y'all put that little bit of work in. But basically the dude is right. A lot of these folks just drop their kids off to these buildings expecting that these strangers are gonna just pull a rabbit out the hat. And a lot of times it just don't work like that. You have the teachers out here that don't care about their jobs, and then you have the ones that do care about their jobs, but they can't get to everybody. And the crazy part about it is a lot of those teachers, they try to work with the kids who aren't getting it. But then if they look at the percentage of their classroom, they might say, hey, 90% of my class is passing. I don't really care. I'm gonna put more work into Susie who's honor roll or whatever the case may be. So, hey man, the dude is right. Take more time to teach your kids at the house so they can get both sides of the world. A lot of times when they come home, they feel like they can get on the computer, play Roblox and all this other stuff, you know what I mean? And they have to understand the balance of what it's like to be responsible when they walk outside, because if you don't put that pressure on them right now while they're younger, when they get older, they're never going to understand how the world works. And then if they may run into how the world works, but they'll learn the hard way. They'll learn by hitting their head against a brick wall and not understanding that all those times where they could have been focused or they could have had more time put into them, they could have turned out a lot better than what they are now. So it's very important to learn to take time out to sit down with your kids, even if you don't like doing the homework or whatever the case may be, hire a tutor or something. The main point is they gotta learn it at the house as well. They gotta learn it at the house as well. And if you got young babies right now, make sure you put them on them flashcards and all that stuff now before they start walking. Because before they go to VPK or before they go to kindergarten, you wanna make sure they already got the basics out of the way so they can just blow all past through that and move on. But yeah, man, shout out to dude, man. He seems like a very concerned teacher. And I'm happy when I see teachers do stuff like this, because they get a bad rap, for not having enough bread. They get their salaries cut. They don't get paid enough. And they also get a bad rap for not caring as much. This seems like a dude that care. And this ain't the first time we done heard teachers say, parents, you need to do your job at the house. Because to be honest, that look crazy on us. It looks crazy on us when we can't handle what we do at the house, and then we send them out expecting them to turn into, you know, Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory and just turn glitter into gold or whatever the case may be. Come on, man. Let's tighten up a little bit.